Hello Story Chasers, this is Amber again, and today I'm coming to you from the desert in Arizona. It's that time of the year where we start all traveling down to the southwest to get out of the cold from up north. And it was definitely cold in the last couple of videos I was in when I was up in the Pacific Northwest. So when you first start RVing, you might not know exactly what you need to stock in your RV and some of those essential items. So today I'm going to talk to you about my top 10 RV essentials, or what I think are RV essentials to have that just make my life a little bit easier when I'm traveling in my van full time. And stay tuned because I'm going to also share with you an amazing discount that Jackery is giving to all of you. Sneak peek, one of my items is a Jackery. They're going to give you a discount during the holidays on a couple of their different packages for their power stations and also their solar panels, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first item I'm going to share with you today is my Jackery solar panel power station system. These are my actual solar panels. Each of these are 100 watts a piece. So here we actually have the Jackery power station, and it's a little bit heavy holding it like this for me, but we're going to get through this. So it's 1,000 watts, pure sine inverter. You have 3 different AC outlets here, and you have a USB-C. I use this to power my GoPro when I'm doing night lapses outside. You have a quick charge, 2 quick charge USBs, plus a 12-volt outlet for your solar panel, and you hit the display button there and you can see how much your charge is, which right now is 94%. We're gonna go plug this in and I'll show you how this works. So in order to plug this in, you have these cords on each solar panel, and it has a little adapter here for you to plug into the Jackery. And you just plug it in like this. Super simple. It's all plugged in, and now if we hit the display, it should tell us in a second how much energy we're getting from the panels. Now, depending on the direction of the sun, it depends on how much solar you're bringing in. So right now it's about 114 watts. So in comparison, we have the 500 watt on the left and the 1000 watt on the right. So you can see that obviously the 500 is a little bit smaller than the 1000, but not by that much. And they're both very doable to put in your van. One of the reasons why I love the Jackery so much is that I can power a lot of my devices at night. So I'm not bringing in sun to my actual solar panels, so I can use the power station to charge up all of my equipment at night. And I have a lot of equipment, camera equipment, computers, things like that. And so it allows me to charge all those up at night. Plus, I can also charge my Rad electric bike battery off of the power station as well. And then of course, the other thing that I told you earlier, which was powering up the GoPro at night when I want to do night lapses. So it has a lot of different multiple functions. I'm going to provide the discount below. They have a discount going on for the Black Friday specials and then also some Christmas specials after Black Friday, but I'll put all of that down in the description and the pinned comment below. The second item that I really like and consider part of my RV essential gear is my Weber Go. It's a grill. I don't actually have an oven inside of my van, and I miss having that oven, so this kind of acts a little bit like that because I like to grill meats and vegetables and various things like that. So it's just another way to cook instead of using the stovetop. In a van, you have to have a very minimalist product, something small that can fit into the back. So I decided on the Weber Go. So this is the Weber Go, and I decided on the gas grill rather than the charcoal. It's a lot easier, and I have this hose that actually connects to my propane tank over here. And what's nice about it is it's very compact. You've got your grill surface. There's nothing fancy about it. It's got the lid to make sure all the meats are cooked inside properly. And then you have these legs that it actually sits on. But then, watch this. So when you want to put it in storage, these legs actually will pull up and over, just like that. Okay. And then this leg comes up like this. And now it's super compact and easy to move around. Also, if you click the link in the description box below, it has my top RV essentials already in one area for you, so you can find all of these items very quickly. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is my sand-free mat. I absolutely love this mat. So it's quite interesting. If you look at the material on it, somehow the sand goes through this meshy area, and this is like a double, I think almost triple layer right there. and the sand goes right through it, doesn't stay on top, so it stays clean, except for maybe just a little bit of dust for if you step on it or something, but otherwise it stays very clean. And the other thing that I love about it is there's a little bit of a wind today, and even when it's like super windy, this thing just doesn't move for some reason. I don't know why, but it just doesn't. And it's not like it's really heavy. This is one of my favorite items. I've gone through so many different mats since I started RVing 3.5 years ago, and that by far is my top mat. It just holds up. It's made very well. No sand. Easy to clean, easy to store. It rolls up really nice. Just slide into the back of the van. Let's go on to the next item, which is my tripod chair. All right, so this is my tripod chair. It's very minimalist. It's easy to carry. It folds up really nice. You literally just put it down and it's folded up. It's got a little strap so you can carry on your shoulder if you wanted to. But yeah, and you just sit your bum right down in there. And it's nice and easy and compact. It's really great when you have those campfires that you want to go to if you're hanging around in a crowd during non-COVID times, of course, and walk with that rather than a big bulky chair. I use it as a secondary chair too, for if I have guests over, people can sit on it instead of carrying 2 big chairs around with me. Let me get to the next one. So the next item is, I know it's not fun, but it's a surge protector. This is from Progressive Industries. What I love about it is that it keeps all my electronics safe in my van. And so what this is used for is when you go to a campground or any place that you're gonna plug in to shore power to your van. So you're plugging into, for me it's 30 amp, or they do have 50 amp ones as well. You plug this into AC outlet on the wall or at your campground, and then you plug your plug from your van or your RV into this. It gives you all kinds of codes here to let you know that the power that's coming in is safe, there's no surge. It also tells you if there's an under or over voltage, which is really nice. You definitely don't want that to happen because you don't want all of your electronics to be fried if there's a surge of power from the campground electricity. And a lot of times those aren't like super reliable. They're always having issues with them. So this is an absolute must if you're going to plug in at shore power. This is an older model. The one that I'm linking to is a newer one. It's not as big, and it also has a nice cover that goes over this area so it protects from rain. I actually use a bag to put over this. I just cut a hole in it and I use that for rain protection, but I'm just not going to buy another one because this works perfectly even though it's a little bit bigger. In my opinion, this is a must-have if you're going to keep your van and your RV safe. One of the other top RV essentials that I think is must-have is my tire pressure monitoring system. So this is actually from Tire Minder. It monitors my tires. It does exactly what it says it's going to do. It tells me what the temperature is of the tires. It tells me what the PSI of the tires are. So that way I can monitor it while I'm driving and make sure that my tires aren't ready to have a blowout or they're getting overheated. So those are things that you have to be aware of when you're driving as much as we do in van life, RV life. I actually did a video on this when I talked about tire safety, which I'll link right up here, that goes into more detail about how to actually set this up on your van or your RV. And it's a great little system, very small and compact. I just put it right on my dash and monitor my tires as I go. It's very, very simple. And it just has these, depending on how many tires you have, I have 4, it just screws right onto your valve stem. I haven't had any issues with air leaking out from those being on there. It's worked really well for me. I love it, and it's definitely a must-have. All right, that's all for the outdoor items. Now let's go inside to see what we have indoors. So the next item is this guy right here. This is my travel Berkey. I think this is a must-have for me because I drink a ton of water, and what this does is it filters your water so that you can have good clean water in your van and not have to buy a bunch of bottled water and things like that. It actually says that it can filter river water. I don't typically go places where I have to filter river water, but supposedly it can do that. But what I love is that it has 2 carbon filters up here. I also have the bottom filters, so there's 4 filters altogether, and these actually filter out fluoride and different types of components that don't filter through the carbon filter. I love that because I can actually take water from my freshwater tank, put it inside here, and as you know, freshwater tanks, they're not always so fresh. I don't know why they call them fresh, because they're not really fresh. I just take the water directly from the faucet, open the lid up, take my hose from my kitchen sink, and fill it up like this. It's super easy, and you have nice, clean drinking water. And these filters last forever, it seems like. All right, my next must-have in RV life and van life is you're going to be taking a lot of pictures. Now, whether you have a YouTube channel or not, you want to get some of those good pictures and selfies, right? So I love this gimbal by DJI. It's an Osmo Mobile 3. It's just amazing, and I use my phone a lot more these days for filming footage. So I'll show you how this works really quick. It's a gimbal. Gimbals make your footage nice and smooth, and it also acts as a tripod and a selfie stick. All right, so I'm going to turn it on just a little bit in here. You'll see it kind of do its thing. There you go. And then I just flip it like that if I want horizontal, and now I can be recording you guys. You'd be surprised at how much I use this thing versus the big camera that you're seeing here. This is the one that I normally film on, but I've been using my phone a lot more and more these days. It's an actual iPhone 11 and it takes amazing footage. Just doesn't have the great audio quality that having this external microphone does. So it does have its limitations. So if you want something that's nice and compact, this is a great thing. And here's the tripod function of it. You can just put it down like that. It also has some follow me features on it and a bunch of different functions that really help you get that shot that you're looking for. And again, it's not super complex. It's really easy to use. And this tripod actually comes off, so you can have just this handle if you wanted. And then I'll show you how this folds up without that. I'm going to turn it off right now, so it goes back into no power mode. I'll take the phone off, and you just flip it around, and that's it. It's super easy. You can put it in your purse. You can actually put it in your back pocket as well. It can hang on to the back pocket, and it's easy to travel with. Okay, one of my other favorite things, or my top RV essential in the van, is a magnetic mount for my dash so that I can put my phone on it very easily every time I get into the driver's seat, and I can look at my Google Maps. I can pull up anything that I want on there, but it's nice and easy. So let me show you this. This is how easy it works. So the back of the phone has these little plates on it that you just stick on, and you just literally stick your phone up to it, and it can move around and swivel any which way you want. You can reposition this if you want it higher or lower. It's just amazing. So, and it's a must. Look, you throw it on there and it's done. You don't have to put it inside of a holder. Whew, I feel like my face is flushed. It's a little hot outside here, and I'm trying to do this all nice and quick before the wind picks up. It's another part of van life. All right, so what I love about it is that it's just super easy. It's not complicated. You don't have to put, like on this gimbal, it has these holders. A lot of the mounts that they have for your dash or your window for your phone has these little, slots that you have to put your phone into, and this one doesn't. You just literally throw it up there and it stays. I've been on BLM land, washboard roads, rocky roads, back and forth to Alaska, to Baja, Mexico, and no issues whatsoever. It has not fallen down, so I think it's a must. All right, so my next item, and one of my very, very favorites, is my Instant Pot. I absolutely love this thing. This is kind of a 2-for-1. I have also the Pot and Pots, which are absolutely amazing to cook in. And this is a 3-quart Instant Pot. It's nice and compact for van life. Just simple. It has rice, porridge, steam, yogurt. You can actually make yogurt in here. Saute function, slow cook, beans, chili, meat, stew, soups, and broths. I typically just pressure cook or saute most of the time. Or sometimes I even use the steam function if I'm doing poached eggs. Yes, you can do poached eggs on here. Isn't that amazing? So I cook oatmeal in there, steel cut oats, regular oats. I steam broccoli, poached eggs, rice, chili, soups, meats, anything pretty much that you can think of I do in there. The great thing is that it doesn't use a ton of power, and that's important in an RV and a van because you're always constantly concerned about your power, especially if you're boondocking. With the Instant Pot, it gets up to pressure. That's when it uses most of its power, is when it gets up to pressure, but it's still pretty minimal. And then once it gets up to pressure, it's hardly using any energy whatsoever, and it's just cooking inside that pressure time. So if I'm cooking steel cut oats, those take about 5 minutes. I put pressure cook 5 minutes, it gets up to pressure, and then it counts down that timer of 5 minutes, and during that time, that's when it uses very little energy whatsoever. And the Pot and Pots are really great because you can cook several meals in one. So a lot of times I'll put in the bottom here, I'll do rice down here, and I'll put fish and vegetables up here, and it cooks all at the same time inside of the Instant Pot, and you've got a meal all in one pot. And so just as a reminder, I have all of those products linked down below in the description box, so it's nice and easy for you to go check them out if you're interested in them. That was fast and furious, and whew, I think I'm flushed from trying to stay out of the heat and the wind. It's supposed to be windy in like 5 minutes, I think. So I was trying to hurry, but you know, I hope you guys understand this is what happens when we're traveling around and we have to deal with the weather and the environment. You just get it done. So I'm just getting it done today with my top 10 RV and van essentials. Make sure you click the links below for the discounts to the Jackery batteries. Thank you, Jackery, for supplying the solar panels and the power station. And make sure you click those links for the discount to the Jackery, not only for the Black Friday, but also after Black Friday during Christmas, first part of December. You can see all of the links below that talk about the different requirements for that. So you can buy it on Amazon or directly through the link to Jackery and get that discount. Today I'm going to talk to you about my top 10, and I'm also going to show you, that's not what I'm supposed to be saying. Let's do that again. Okay. So today I'm going to talk to you about my top 10, and then of course, what was the other thing I was saying? Thank you, Jackery, for supplying the solar power. Nope. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.